something very disturbing this morning or last night, and I said to myself, you know what, I actually need to do a live about that. Okay, what was so disturbing? So you know how there are so many like Facebook groups out there, and then obviously you just gonna become part of one of them at some point, and then all those things are going to just pop on your feeds, and then you come across some very disturbing shit. And there was this woman asking, you know, the moms in that respective group if they still have sex, and if they enjoy sex, and if they have any sex drive at all. And of course, females would never talk about this topic in person or expose themselves out there, but they would gladly write a comment or share an opinion far away from the eyes of other people. Okay, okay, there's something I don't like about this. Okay, there we go. Fantastic, perfect, great. Whoops. Okay, I got it. Okay, so therefore I decided to shoot a live regarding that, because from my experience I know how important sex is in a relationship, and I know what can happen to a relationship if there is no sex whatsoever. So throughout the comments there were these respective moms saying that I only had sex to have a child, I don't like sex, I have no sex drive, I'm not enjoying it, there shouldn't be any sex after you have your kids. Another one was saying that, you know, she's so busy being a mom and having a child is all she needs in life, and she doesn't have time to fulfill the needs of the guy, partner, man, husband, whatever you want to call him. And I was just I'm like, what am I reading? Like, is any mom out there still having freaking sex? And apparently it's this trend that you just get your kids, and after that you just completely neglecting your needs and the needs of the guy, of the male. Okay, so the problem is this, that moms consider that they need to have sex to satisfy the guy and the needs of the male. You don't see any mom out there saying that actually as a woman you have your own sexual needs that you need to satisfy. Apparently moms don't have sexual needs. So that being said, here I am to actually tell you that moms do have sexual needs, plenty of them. What moms need to do is to stop denying having them, because, you know, having sexual needs doesn't mean you're less of a mom, or you're not, a good mom, or you're not a good partner, you know, like, oh, you're a slut, you're having sex with your husband. Shit, that's like the worst thing that you can actually do in life. Obviously, that's not true. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about sex and about like this sex drive and what's up with it. As you people know, as you might know, or maybe you experienced this when you were young, you know, when your hormones were all over the place, and you just, you know, you had the desire to literally bang anything at any point, and you discover masturbation and everything else, and you're like super excited about it, like, what is this? I like it, I enjoy this shit. And then as you go through life, like, you know, your sex drive reduces. Like, it's perfectly normal. It just peaks like when you're around 30, and after that it slowly starts to decrease, because, you know, you have that boost in your hormones, then you reach that balance, you have a healthy sex life, or you should have a healthy sex life, and then it starts to decrease. So that's perfectly normal. A 60-year-old who's not taking Viagra is not going to have the same amount of sex like a 16 or a 18 or a 20-year-old. Okay, like, that's common sense. We all know that. So I'm not saying that at some point in your life you're not going to, have a reduced sex drive. It's normal. But to have it when you are young, to have it when you're 20, when you're 25, when you're 30, even when you're 35, even when you're 40, to have no sex whatsoever, that's just fucked up. Okay, so let's proceed with the story. Okay, so having sex is one of the most primary needs of a human being, and the reason why you go ahead and you get yourself a partner is because you want to reproduce. Like, we are just like evolved freaking animals, but we are animals, and what do animals do? Well, they can't wait for the fucking reproduction season. Okay, it's one of their favorites. So I can't believe the kind of nonsense that I'm talking with you guys. Okay, but yeah, that's true. So you know, this need to reproduce, this need to have a family, this need to have your own fucking tribe. It's been there since the beginning of the world, or I shouldn't say the beginning of the world, since, people ended up on this planet somehow. We still don't know how. So saying that I don't want to have sex, or that I don't need sex in my life, or the sex is something that the male wants but not the female, that's ridiculous. That's absurd. That's impossible. You are literally denying yourself needs. You are literally denying yourself a primary animalistic, and whatever it is, instinct to actually have that sex drive. Just feel it, do it, have it, take it. Okay. So I want to share with you guys a story that happened. Okay, so I'm a highly sexed person. I've always been a highly sexed person. Okay, and that's actually how I got pregnant. We weren't planning on getting pregnant, but we were having sex every day, very often, twice per day. So when you have that amount of sex, at some point you are due to get pregnant, which is what happened in our case. And throughout pregnancy, I was the horniest I've ever been in my life. Like, it was just crazy. Like, even if he was just giving me a kiss on my neck, it was just like the most intense, the arousal I've ever had in my life. It was just simply crazy. If there's one thing that I loved in my pregnancy, it was how horny I was and how easy it was for me to actually, get excited and have orgasms. And it was just simply crazy. Anyway, so healthy sex life, shitload of sex throughout my life, and then throughout my pregnancy. And then I have my son, and I pushed my son, so that means that certain things happened, like excessive stretching and all sort of things that happen when you push a baby. So obviously, the last thing on your head is like to have sex. So if you're ever going to have sex again, or if you need dick in your life ever again, considering the pain that you've just been through, the stress that your body has been through, the aches and the pains that you need to cope with, definitely sex is not a worry on your mind at that point. Okay. So I had my son, and then I suffered of postnatal depression. And what I discovered with my postnatal depression is that I had no appetite for sex whatsoever. Like, my sex drive was literally gone. Consciously, I desired my partner. Like, I wanted to make love to him. I knew that I have to make love to him. I wanted to make love to him. I knew that there's the essence of a relationship, but just couldn't feel that deep horniness that I felt before. Like, I lost it. I had it peaked in my pregnancy, and then it was gone, and it was crazy. Like, how am I supposed to have intercourse now when I don't feel that anymore? So 3 weeks postpartum, we decided to try and have intercourse, and and my partner decided that he doesn't want to have intercourse in the same room with the baby. So we left the baby sleeping in that room, and we moved to a different room. Now, because I was breastfeeding, the moment I started feeling, horny and, getting excited about what was happening, my jealous son woke up. Obviously, I went back into the room, I attended him, I breastfed him, I put him back to sleep, and then, off you go, return to the joy of being a woman and a lover. And there we are, starting, our activity again, and then the baby wakes up again. And I don't know if that ever happened to you, but, if you have a baby who just keeps on waking up every time you attempt pleasure, it sort of like kills the mood completely. So that's when I realized that not only that postnatal depression is going to ruin my, sort of sex drive, sex experience, pleasure, whatever you want to call it, but having the baby and adjusting to this new dynamics, and having the patience and to keep being interrupted throughout this process, it was something extremely new to me. Extremely new. So I was trying really hard to actually accept the new dynamics, and keep my sex drive up. I would say within 2 months postpartum, it was completely gone. Like, I was doing it, but I could not feel it. So what we decided to do is synchronize my calendar with my partner's. So we would book in sex at least twice per week. I know it sounds crazy. I know you're gonna be like, oh my God, you have to feel it. You can't just book it in. Well, guess what? It comes a time in your life when you have to book that shit in. So we booked in sex twice per week on average because, you know, after the battering of giving birth, you don't want to go hard on that shit. So twice per week, it was more than decent. So, you know, regardless of how many times the baby would wake up, regardless how tired we were, regardless what would interfere with our schedule, whenever sex was booked in that particular evening or night, it was happening, it was getting done, okay? Sometimes, you know, when you start to like, oh, I have to do this again, but then, you know, as you're doing it, you start enjoying it. And as you follow through the schedule, then you see that, you know, you fully starting to enjoy that again. You don't need to be on a schedule anymore. You actually take it from twice per week, you take it to 3 times per week. And then suddenly you realize that actually, you know, your sex drive is coming back, that appetite that you just want to eat your partner all the time is coming back, and you're realizing that all that discipline that you invested in returning to sex is actually paying off, and it's becoming, you know, from a chore, if you want to call it, from something booked in your calendar, is actually becoming something natural again. So what I'm trying to say to you guys is that it's perfectly normal after becoming a mom, after pushing a baby, or after having to deal with a baby, for your sex drive to be low or to be gone and just like not want to do it anymore. But the thing is that if you don't discipline yourself to return to having a sex life with your partner, that relationship is doomed. From the bottom of my heart, is doomed. Like, when I hear somebody telling me that I haven't had sex with my partner in a year or two, or I only have sex, I don't know, for fucking Christmas or birthday or something like that, anniversary, but I love my partner and he loves me and we are great together, that's fucking bullshit. That's fucking bullshit, okay? If there is no sex in that relationship, it's like you're living with your fucking brother or father or friend or whoever you want. That is not a relationship. The only way for you to consume the passion, the love, the only way for you to literally like fully bang on connect with that person is through sex. Now, if the guy has a problem with his dick, I don't care. Use the tongue, use the fingers, use a dildo, use whatever you want. So, you know, there are situations where, you know, stuff happens or people have certain disabilities or whatever it is. But then you fucking improvise, okay? Like, you need to have that connection. You need to have that sexual thing together. It has to happen. Whatever tool you need to use, whatever body part you need to use, you have to make sure that it happens. Many people get a divorce after they become parents, and it's fucked up, and they keep saying that it's my child's fault, or my children's, and it's because of them that I got a divorce. And that's bullshit. You got a divorce because you decided not to have sex with your man, because you decided that having sex is a bad thing, is something that moms should not do. You decided that having sex is only to satisfy your man and not satisfy yourself. And what happens when you have that kind of thinking? Boom, guess what? The guy's going to fucking eventually cheat on you. And he's entitled to do that. If you are not having sex, of course he's gonna go and do it somewhere else. Remember, we were talking in the beginning, having sex is a primary need of any human being. If you don't fuck that man, he's going to go and get pussy somewhere else. I'm sorry, I gotta say it that way. So if you don't feel like having sex because you don't feel like having sex, then the thought of your partner cheating on you should actually sort of, you know, be an impetus for you to do it, to give yourself to the man that I assume you still love, or you used to love. I don't know, wake up that love. Maybe it's still there, somewhere there. I mean, you don't decide to do kids with somebody unless you love that person. I assume so. I don't know. There are cases and cases. Also, another thing why, you know, the sex drive is not there for moms is lack of time. Like, oh, I don't have time to fuck my man. I don't have time to wear anything nice. I just don't have time to do that. Like, how long does sex take? I mean, yeah, when you're young, it can take hours. You drink some wine, and then, you know, you're a bit numb, so you can do it for hours and so forth. But then as you get older, towards your 30s and 40s, come on, let's face it. Like, if you get a half an hour activity, is like, damn, what are we celebrating? Okay, that's the reality of it. So, you know, having sex is literally, I don't know, 5, 10, 15 minutes top. So if you tell me you don't have 15 minutes, like twice per week to, you know, have intercourse with your partner, that's fucked up. That means that you don't want to be with that man anymore, like, at all. Like, why would you have dinner with him if you don't want to have sex with him? Like, why would you pretend that your relationship is great when it's actually not? If there is no sex in your relationship, I repeat, If there is no sex in your relationship, you might as well just replace your man with a brother or a friend or an uncle or anybody else, because you are not in a relationship anymore, not in a healthy relationship. Why? Okay, so I mentioned to you guys the postnatal depression. Okay, postnatal depression is real, and the sex drive goes really down, or it disappears completely when you're fighting this mental disorder. So that's real. I already shared that part of the story with you. Now, other reasons why females don't have the sex drive is because they're lacking confidence, and the reason why they're lacking confidence is because they literally and genuinely dislike their body. Okay, maybe you always had weight issues, or maybe you never lost the baby weight and you gained more weight on top of that. Maybe you're left with saggy breasts if you decided to breastfeed. Maybe you gained a lot of weight throughout your pregnancy, and although you lost the weight, now you are left with shitload of stretch marks. Whatever it is, the reality is that pregnancy is going to leave you with permanent changes, okay? Permanent changes to your body, I mean. So if you are now willing to accept that, then you're never going to get your confidence back throughout your life. You're never going to get self-love back throughout your life. The minute you decide to become a mom, you're sacrificing your body, and you are literally like putting your body through so many changes in such a short period of time that you have no idea what the outcome of it is going to be and where you're going to look after delivering that baby. You don't know how much weight you're going to gain. You don't know the stretch marks, how bad is it going to be. Like, you don't know many things, how much hair you're going to lose, how many teeth you're going to lose. Like, pregnancy is fucking crazy. If nobody told you, I'm telling you that the kind of shit that happens to you in pregnancy, it's amazing, and it's a sacrifice that females choose to do. Okay, so if you chose that, then stick by your choice later on as well. So after having my son, I was left at over 200 pounds, and to go from 130 pounds to 220 pounds by the time I delivered, it was just fucking crazy. And you're like, okay, so now I'm weighing a little bit over 200 pounds. Why would I actually have sex, or why would I let my partner see my body this way? I mean, I have leaking breasts, and I'm full of I'm full of stretch marks, and I still have shit coming out from me, and like, why would I, am I crazy? Like, how can this man be attracted to me? Well, let me tell you something. Most men, they do appreciate their woman going through pregnancy, and they do appreciate the sacrifices that you do in order to to carry that baby for 9 months, deliver the baby, and then look after the baby. And although you dislike yourself, and although you lack confidence, and although you're not at your best, you're full of puke and bowel and milk and powder milk and everything else out there, that man appreciates you for who you are. That man appreciates your strength. That man appreciates your commitment. That man appreciates you investing so much in your child, okay? And believe it or not, that man can be attracted to you. You wearing your PJs and having unwashed hair and looking like a mess, because he knows that every day you're striving to be the best mom. And he knows that the reason why your hair is not washed is because you chose to keep that baby on your chest so he can rest, and he's not agitated, and he's not sick, and he's not crying, and you have sacrificed yourself yet again for the baby. And a normal man, a dedicated man to his woman and his family would appreciate that, would feel attracted to that, okay? So my advice to you is to stop worrying so much about this immediate postnatal depression, postnatal period, let's call it, and just stay focused on actually, just connecting with your partner. And if it's been, if your kids are 2, 3, 4, 5 years old and you still haven't returned to a healthy sex life with your partner, there's a big problem there. It's not your sex drive. There are other issues in that relationship. Whatever it is, you might want to address it before you're actually going to split up. It sounds harsh, but it's true. If there is no sex in that relationship, one of you is going to end up cheating. Who's going to be the winner? We don't know. We'll see it. But one of you is going to fuck it up, okay? I've been, previously I have been in relationships where my sex drive was not fully satisfied, and and what happened is I didn't cheat. I managed to somehow keep it together, but I was highly unhappy. Okay, like the guy was great, and better than a previous choice that I've done, let's say, but my sexual needs were not covered, and that made me unhappy. It made me unfulfilled. It made me doubt my feminine side. It made me doubt who I was. It made me doubt, like, okay, something wrong with me. Like, shouldn't I be enjoying sex, or shouldn't I be enjoying this much? Or it was all a complete confusion. Like, I wasn't sure what was happening, and so maybe from his side he would have been like, oh, it's perfectly fine, we're doing amazing together, we have common goals, we're doing this and we're doing that, and we're cheating stuff and respect each other, and yeah, we were doing all these things, but man, we were not having sex. I was not getting dick as much as I wanted to. And perhaps from his side, I mean, I know for sure from his side that he never thought that that was a problem. But for me, it was a huge freaking problem. And every time I would try to address it, he would be like, how much do you want? Or like, how often do you want? Or like, what's the problem? Like, I don't care if whoever you were before, you were doing it once per month or once every 3 months. Here, I have demands, and you better satisfy my demands, or I will be gone. So I could definitely talk to you, like, because I know in general, most people think that it's the guys that have the sex drive, it's the guys that want to, have lots of sex, and it's not the female. Well, in my case, I like to have shitload of sex, and what happens is that I know what it feels like to be on that side where you are not getting it, or you're not getting enough of it, or you're just not happy with it. And trust me that eventually either that person is going to go away or is going to cheat on you. One of the two. There is no other way. So stop, deceiving yourself by saying that I love my partner the most and he loves me the most. We never have sex, but we have kids and we are happy. That's fucking bullshit. I call it bullshit. It is bullshit. And you need to sort out your issues. Whatever issues you have in that relationship, fucking sort your shit out. Because that's the only way that you're actually going to be in a healthy, genuine relationship. Okay, that's all I wanted to share with you guys today. I hope that you are going to take active steps towards improving your sex life, and I hope that you understand that having sexual needs is normal and it applies to every human being. You don't need to be a male to have sexual needs, and as a woman, you're not there to satisfy the needs of the man. You are there, first of all, to satisfy your own needs. Now, that being said, you can find the whole story on how to get your sex back on track, and the steps that you can take in order to do that, and how to take care of your body in order to regain your confidence and expose yourself to your partner in my book, How to Be a Fit Mom, 15 Steps to Have It All. The link is there. Just the book is going out for free right now. All you have to cover is a shipping fee, which is £3.95. That's it. How to Be a Fit Mom, 15 Steps to Have It All. I really want you to get this book because it's going to make a massive change to your life, and it's going to show you that there are other ways of coping with womanhood and motherhood other than what you've been taught for decades and centuries and many thousands of years. Now you need to take charge of your life. And you can do that by reading this book, which I promise you is going to become your Bible in taking action to improve the quality of your life. That's it, guys, for today. Thank you for being with me today. And I can't wait to see you on the new live.